Hello, hello. Happy Tuesday. Thank you for joining me again for another live Q&A session here on my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Angela. I'm a full-time voiceover artist and audiobook narrator, and my channel here on YouTube is dedicated, and in my Facebook group, is dedicated to those of you just getting started out in this wonderful world of voiceover and audiobook narration. And through my channel, I share with you everything that I have learned thus far, all of my tips and tricks and techniques that I use every day in my own voiceover business. And I answer your questions in these live weekly Q&A sessions. If you're not new here, then you know every week we have a poll. And this week, the poll is, when it comes to pay-to-play sites, and then you have some options. When it comes to pay-to-play sites, these are my primary source of work. These are only one way I find work. I rarely use these to find work. Or what is a pay-to-play site? I had the same question in the beginning. I'm like, what in the heck? I mean, it kind of makes sense, but once you know what they are, you're like, okay, that makes sense. Pay-to-play means that it is a website, like a casting website or a freelance marketplace, either or, where you can find work, but it'll cost you one way or the other. Meaning either the site will require a monthly membership fee, a biannual membership fee, a annual membership fee, and or, because some sites do both, and or take a percentage of what you earn. So either way, or both ways in some sites, they're going to take a piece of the pie, right? It's the cost of doing business. It just is. Unless you can source the work from, networking, and even that might cost you some money if you have to pay to belong to groups or dues and things of that nature, associations. I mean, any way you look at it, to find work, it's just like that old saying, you have to spend money to make money, right? It's just the cost of doing business. But these pay-to-play sites, and there are a lot of them in all shapes and forms. There's, audiobook ones, there's strictly voiceover ones, there's the freelance marketplaces like Fiverr, Upwork, Guru, places like that where almost, you'll find more than just voiceover and audiobook work. There's tons of freelancers on there offering lots of different services. And then you have just the voiceover casting sites like voices.com, Voice123, Badalgo, places like that are just voiceover casting sites. And there are a lot of them. And there seems to be new ones popping up all the time. But my point with this is that these are just one tool in the toolbox for your business, right? Or should be. You shouldn't be putting all of your eggs into one website basket, right? It should be diversifying your income and not only maybe a few different pay-to-play sites or freelance marketplaces, however you want to phrase it, or whichever ones you're looking at, plus other things that you're using to find work, like social media, direct contact, making connections on the internet, talking to other small businesses or, whatever size businesses in your own community, making it known that you exist and this is what you do, to get your name and yourself out there, to start building relationships with clients. But, and of course, this question comes up because and even myself in the beginning, I didn't really realize that there was other ways to find work. In the beginning, you're just kind of like laser focused on one site and you're like, I'm going to make this work. This is where I'm going to, grow and shine. And then you go, oh, well, there's this place over here too. And then there's this place over here too. And then you start to think outside the pay to play box and you realize that you can find work in a lot of places. But I guess my point is, don't solely rely on a pay-to-play site to bring you all the work you need or to make all of your income, right? Diversify. try several different avenues to bring yourself work. Because what happens if that site that you're making all your money on just goes away one day? Then what? Right? And also, I also wanted to note that I'm hearing quite a bit, and I hear this all the time and have during, the course of my journey to where I am now, that a lot of people tend to get upset with the site that they're working with when they don't see any kind of traction, or they're not making the money they thought they would, or getting the orders they thought they would. Because again, we're maybe basing our own expectations on what other people have found, people that are years and years ahead of us. I just wanted to say, just to sum up, that we can't put the onus of finding work on one particular site or a few different sites. Yes, we're there, right? But you have to put in the work to get people to notice your profile, to send you invitations, if there is, or place an order. If it's a site where you can send bids, like Upwork and a few others, then, do as many of those as you can. But you can't just put up a profile on one of these sites and then go, okay, someone's going to be, or all these people are going to be beating down my door. It doesn't work that way. You also have to put in the work to be seen. Because yes, these sites will spend, millions of dollars in advertising. I've seen a lot for Upwork lately, but that's great. They get the traffic to the site, and that is then your job to stand out, or to, respond respectively, or, offer great customer service. Whatever it is that you have to do to, improve your rankings and your algorithm on each of the sites, right? You have to put in the work also to see great results on these sites. That was definitely tangent number one. But as of right now, we have 29 votes, and it looks like 3% of you said these are my primary source of work. And they were for me too in the beginning, before I realized that, the world is much bigger than just these sites. 17% of you said these are only one way I find work, which is great. And 45% of you, a good chunk of you, said I rarely use these to find work. That's fabulous, because I wouldn't shake a stick at them either, because there's a lot of great clients, big name clients that use these platforms to find voiceover artists for their commercial work, for, their e-learning and so on and so forth. And what is a pay-to-play site? I hope I explained that enough, or well enough to explain what they are. But the pay-to-play term is just sort of a general umbrella term for all of these sites where you have to pay in some respect to play, or to find the work that you need or that you're looking for. I hope I explained that well enough. Me and my tangents. All right, I'll top over to the comments and see what's shaking. Let's see who's first in. Who's first in? Joya. Morning, Joya. Joya says, good, hot, and beautiful morning, everyone. Yes, it is currently 82. I think it's going to be over 100 today. Put those ice packs in the freezer, people. It's coming. I rarely use these, but the truth is I never use them. But I do know what they are. I just don't see a need for them at this time in my journey. And that's a great place to be. If you don't need them, great. But they are a jumping off point, maybe a foundation for how you build and learn. It's sort of, in the beginning, if you're just using solely pay-to-play sites, those can be a great way to learn and to practice and to hone your skills and your customer service skills, your voiceover skills, your DAW skills. That could be a great place to build the foundation of your business, basically. And then once you're at a point where maybe you're more comfortable with stepping outside of the pay-to-play box and finding an agent, you're, stepping out into your community and making connections. You're making connections in social media, LinkedIn, all of these different direct marketing, and then maybe a pay-to-play just could be a bonus source of income. then that's great. And that's kind of where I think, all want to be, right? Mern and Eric, I rarely use them. I have Upwork subscription, but I've only ever gotten one job from them, I think. Seems the client's requests are far too underpaid, I think. Do my book, budget $200 kind of thing. I see those. I get invitations. I get a few of them a week. I'm kind of picky about things because I tend to rely on my gut, I think, more than my logic. But if it's worded in a way that is vague, like almost intentionally vague, then yeah, I'll decline. But I've also declined some, I think, legitimate not deals, jobs too, just because I was just honestly too busy. But um, I would definitely, you know what I have noticed, Eric, just quick side note, Upwork will definitely send you more invitations or boost your profile, so to speak. If you're active, if you're more active, if you go in there and just make a couple of bids on stuff, then you might see a boost in invitations. That's generally how it goes for me. If I go in there and start looking around and, even just looking at stuff, being there and maybe tweaking your profile or something, then that usually yields more invitations in the coming weeks. Caesar's here. Hi, Caesar. Oh, hiya, Joya. Same. I haven't progressed that far ahead in my VO journey. Like a lot of people, I'm still at the starting line. Is that self-imposed? Are we stuck in the procrastinating stage, perhaps? What are we waiting for, Caesar? MG Stevens says, good morning, Angela and everyone. I also clicked rarely use these. I also know what they are, but have chosen not to use them yet. I'm working on several other pay-to-play platforms currently. Well, that's cool. Good job. BB Homebody says, good morning. Same for me, Joya. I don't make enough yet to pay to play. I know. Yeah, they all are structured different. As I mentioned before, some will require a membership, either monthly, annually, or whatever their format is. Some of them will just take a percentage. Some of them will take a higher percentage. Some take a lower percentage. Some take a percentage and want you to pay a membership fee. So they're all kind of structured differently. So whichever one you're looking at, just make sure that you understand their pricing structure. But you can, on some of these, make a lot of money on them. You can. Is it Richie Scudo? Richie Scudo? This is the first time I've been able to catch a live stream. This is great. Thank you. Well, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you had a couple extra minutes to stare at my face while I tangent at you. I'm glad you're here. Thank you so much. Lisa Morgan says, good morning from Northwest Ohio. Good morning, Lisa. Glad you're here. Sean Lester. How you doing, buddy? I'm going to be looking to sign up for some pay-to-play sites this week, researching the most worthy sites. And it's hard to tell up front. I mean, because I'm sure if you're in Facebook groups and you're in the voiceover community, you hear a lot of people saying positive things, negative things. So you kind of have to take it all with a grain of salt, I suppose, and check them out for yourselves and decide based on what everybody else is saying, which one to go and look at and which ones to stay away from. But we can definitely talk more about these in our platinum groups too. If you guys have questions about which ones to maybe avoid, which ones to check out. Pamela McDonald, Mernon. Good morning from a very May gray. No sun in my bizarre part of LA. That was very rhymey. Was that intentional? Excuse me. Caesar. Hi, Angela. Before we begin, let me know if I'm right. Above you are David from Lost Boys, Daryl from Walking Dead, Pennywise from It, and Jack from Nightmare Before Christmas. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. It is. And then above them, which you can't see, are Michonne from The Walking Dead, Maleficent from Snow White or Maleficent, or not Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, or from Maleficent, and Elvira, because, who doesn't love Elvira? Yes, you are correct, sir. And then also, I can't see. And then I've got Daenerys on Drogon behind me. Oh, hang on a second. I see there is a super chat. Thank you, Sean. You're a doll. Do you recommend working through many platforms at once in the beginning, or get established in one and then go out to another one at a time? I'll tell you the way that I did it. I think that was much more comfortable for me because I was still working full time, right? I started with one. I started with ACX, and then I moved to maybe a month or two later, I moved to Fiverr, and then after that, shortly after that, I moved to Upwork. And then I stayed there with just those three, just to kind of get a feel for how I was going to be able to schedule things, and to make sure that I could get things done while I was still obviously working full time. And then I slowly started to put my profile and my demos on other sites that had a free version of their platform, like voices.com, Voice123, namely those two. You can put a profile on there, but you can't audition until you're a paying member. So I put my profile on those, just kind of establishing myself, right? Making sure that I was present and visible on as many sites as possible. But it wasn't until there was like a introductory rate or a special rate that came up, usually around Black Friday, that kind of thing. Well, they'll let people join for a lower annual fee. So that's when I jumped into those other sites. And that wasn't until a couple of years later. So if you're working at this full time, you probably have more time available to be active on more sites than just the three, or three in general, whichever three you choose. But my opinion, just to cut off the tangent before it starts, start with just a few. And then as you get more comfortable with how quickly you need to respond and how your schedule will allow you to get things done, then start to branch out to others, I think. That worked well for me. That worked well for me. I hope I answered your question. Boy, boy, boy. Then we got Gregory. Got the platinum group in force. I'm here on time. Can you believe it? I'm improving. Well, I'm glad you're here, Gregory. Glad you're here, buddy. Kelsey, more accurate answer for me is I'm a bit put off by the concept, so I don't utilize them. What is it that puts you off about them? I'm curious. Inquiring minds want to know. Jessica Kent says the pay-to-play sites are so expensive that their income depends so strongly on people paying them to even look at the jobs, says to me that they are getting their money from the wrong source. I know there are a lot of people that would agree with you, because they also, on some of them, they will also take a chunk of fee from the client as well, or a percentage from the client as well. So they are sort of the middleman. And I'm sure they have overhead and expenses, but some of them go a little bit too heavy in, what we have to pay them. And if it's too much, then maybe, try a different one that's got maybe a smaller introductory rate or a smaller percentage. But again, they're all structured differently. So make sure you understand how they get their piece of the pie, and then choose accordingly which ones you're more comfortable with. But I get it. Some of them are a little heavy-handed, I think. And I think a lot of people would agree with me when I say that. There's another super chat. Natural X Jasmine. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. How long should it take me to finish an 86,000 word audiobook? I still work a 9 to 5 job. How do you recommend that I structure my time? My very first book was pretty close to that word count when I was still employed. So I was in the exact same situation that you were in. I believe that I told the author that I needed 30 days. And then what I would do is I would get 2 or 3 chapters recorded every night when I had the time, and then edit them when like, for example, if the air conditioner, like I'm always saying, if the air conditioner's on, then I edit. If the air conditioner's off, then I record, because I live in an oven and the air conditioner's on a lot. So I would break it up the best way that you can, depending on what time is available to you, because your schedule best, right? But if 30 days still scares you, then ask for 45, right? You can always tell the rights holder that you're finishing up another book or you're finishing up another project, and then you need just a little bit more time, or you want to make sure that you read through the book well enough or with enough time to completely understand the content. You can serve it up any which way you want to justify the 45 days. It's up to you. But I think 30 days is pretty typical for an audiobook. And this one's a little closer to the larger size. So a little additional time probably wouldn't be a bad thing either. But just pace yourself, because audiobooks, as I say all the time, audiobooks are a marathon. They are a lot of work. And if you don't rest this in between, then you'll start to get chapters that are, very hoarse sounding. And you don't want that, right? So consistency is key. So pace yourself and drink a lot of water, drink a lot of tea. I hope that helps. All right. So where did I leave off? Okay, there we go. Eric saying, morning, Pam. May Gray and Santa Clarita too. Well, that just means that May Gray is heading over this away. I can be rhymey. It's kind of rhymey, right? I am Paximus. Why do I do that every time? Why do I sound like a transformer every time I say Paximus? Hey, Angela. I hope you're doing well today. I'm going to my weekly meeting, but we'll catch this on the replay. Hashtag team replay. Hope you have a great Tuesday. So far, I am having a great Tuesday. You know what, guys? I'm going to share this with you. Right before we started the stream today, I got a call from my doctor's office. I went and had my annual ultrasound and blood tests. If you don't know, I had cancer years and years and years ago, and every year I have to go to make sure that everything is still, I'm still in remission. And they said that everything they were keeping an eye on was even smaller. My blood numbers, all the numbers within the blood tests were even better than they ever were. So not only am I still in remission, but I am better than I have ever been. So good news, fabulous news on Tuesday. So this is a great start to the day for me. It is a fabulous Tuesday. I'm feeling great. Yay. Caesar, when would you say a VO artist would be ready for a P2P sign up though? Like, when does reward outweigh risk? Would you say the artist has to be fairly seasoned, expert, AAA, and all that? I had no idea what I was doing. To be honest, I had no idea what I was doing, because I don't have. Let me just say that I started voiceover in my early 40s. And I was, my experience prior to that was, burger flipping, construction, and auto industry. And then, I think a couple other things in between, but that's what I wanted to do. So I had, relatively zero experience. And I started up with ACX because solely because I am a big book nerd. I love books. And I thought, okay, well, if I can read them out loud, I can make some money doing it. And then after I started doing that, then I started to branch out into other forms of voiceover, commercial work, IVR, e-learning, YouTube narration, all kinds of different things that sort of branched out from there. And you can find all of that work on, Fiverr, Upwork, some freelance marketplaces that generally just take a percentage of what you make, right? And they also charge the client a percentage too. based on the order total. So that's how I started, not knowing anything about anything. I'm like, what the heck is a DAW? This is all German. I have no idea. What are we doing? But I knew it would be an adventure, and I knew that I would eventually understand it, because that's just the way things go. You eventually, if you study it long enough, you'll understand it and hopefully get good at it, right? But I'd say starting out, start small. Start on a couple sites that you're comfortable with, that maybe take a percentage and not like a monthly membership fee or an annual membership fee. And then once you're more comfortable with it, then start to branch out into some of these other pay-to-play sites that are voiceover casting only, because those clients are going to definitely hear the difference between inexperienced and experienced, right? Freelance marketplaces are a little bit more flexible because they're not always looking for something polished. Sometimes they're looking for something simple and, you know, not a polished commercial. Yeah, I don't want to repeat myself, but that's basically what it is, right? So I would say start it yesterday. Don't get stuck on what ifs. Don't get stuck on, what if I'm not good enough? I need to be professional. I need to be experienced. I need to be no, just get started. Otherwise you never will, right? We all start at the same place. We all start at zero, and we all have different paths to get to where we want to go. So just get started. Just do it. Kara's here. Hey, Kara. Are you using your new dragon mug? Picture you sipping out of that. JCC AOL says, when it comes to work, I know there is not only one set way, but for me, I would want to set up a website, go to conventions where I would wear I am a voice actor shirt, and let them come to me. You could. And I've said this before about wearing a shirt with your brand on it, like a branded t-shirt. Once you have a logo, once you have a website, some place where people can go. I know it's cheesy, but to JCC AOL's point, and I've done it myself, make a t-shirt with your logo and your information on the back. Why not? Do it. Walking business card. Do it. Caesar says, I kind of feel like buying into a P2P subscription when a VO artist is just starting out is kind of like a gladiator waltzing into an arena with a loincloth and a potato peeler. It is, but you have to know that you can still do damage with that potato peeler. Work with what you got. Make the best of what you got. So that is a great analogy, Caesar. Oh, there was another super chat. Hold on. I'm scrolling. Janelle. Thank you, Janelle. I appreciate you. She says, yeah, that's awesome news for you. We're grateful and happy for you. No, thank you. Don't make me all emotional. Yes, it's a good news day. Definitely a good news day. I'm so sensitive. Thank you, Janelle. Woosah. JCC AOL says, oh, and happy Tuesday to you, Angela, and everyone else. Yes, happy Tuesday. Kelsey, LOL. Eric says, you said, let me sum up. Reminded me of Princess Bride. Inconceivable. There is no time to explain. Let me sum up. Buttercup, Mary Humperdinck in little less than half an hour. Oh, I love that movie. Speaking of Funko Pops, I saw a Wesley Funko Pop the other day, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to find. And I'm regretting not buying it. I didn't see Buttercup. She must not be released yet. I'm such a nerd, and that's fine. That's fine, right? So I think the next time I go into that Funko Pop shop, I'm grabbing Wesley and just looking for Buttercup. I have to. Richie says, it's not okay to play, but what are your thoughts on the best way to use LinkedIn to find work? Make connections. You can make connections, and then you can also use the hashtags and such to find specific companies that do exactly what it is that you want to voice over for. Like production houses, studios, things that, other places that may need voiceover work. and find a person that would be hopefully the correct person to speak to and send them a request. But I do want to say, when you're approaching people directly to solicit them, let's just be honest, that's what we're doing, right? You're making a connection first, and then, getting to know them, um, looking at their content, commenting on their content, build a relationship first, unless you want to get right to it and say, hey, are you looking for, is there any room on your roster? Or are you looking for a fresh new voice? Me being me and being solicited by lots of vendors in my previous career, I would want someone to not get straight to the point. I would rather someone try to build a relationship with me first. And I think you would have a lot better of a result if you did that instead of just treating them like $1 or a couple of bucks. You know what I mean? But, reach out to people, meet people, be a person interacting with another person. And then, hey, are you looking for anybody new? All right, cool. But keep in contact with them too, because you never know. They may not have room on their roster, but they may end up knowing somebody else in another business, because usually people in one position will know people in another company in the same position, and they communicate, right? You might be referred to the other, you never know. So build relationships with lots of different people. And not just on LinkedIn, but in, social media posts, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. The whole world is available online, so go be part of it. I am Paxma says, oh, by the way, embrace the tangent, Angela. Embrace it. And stuff. You are so funny. I love it. Gloria. Hi, Gloria. Hello, Angela. I'm a newbie. My question is, what is the editing tool, or should I say the program, I need in my computer to edit my narration and send to the author's request? That would be a DAW, DAW, that stands for Digital Audio Workstation. And that is the recording software that you use to record, edit, format, all the fun things that we need to do with our voiceover files. And there are a few different types. There's Adobe Audition, there's Audacity, there's Reaper, there's Studio One, there's a handful of them. But I would always say, I recommend, the top 3 that I would recommend are Audacity, because it's free. Adobe Audition is because it's what I use and I'm absolutely in love with it. And then there's also Reaper. But Adobe Audition is a monthly subscription, and Reaper is a one-time fee, I believe, for a specific kind of licensing. You might have to pay extra for a different kind of license, I believe. But it's not a monthly type of fee. It's like a one-time fee, maybe a 2-time fee, but, it's not a monthly thing. But that's what those are. Richie says, mistyped, not okay to play, but it's a pay to play. It's okay. I'm with you. Natural X Jasmine says, woohoo, I caught Angela live, not at a meeting today. Yay. I'm just yay for not having to be in a meeting, period. But I'm glad you're here. Eric says, good advice regarding Upwork. I will start to do that. Yes, just be active. I find that if you're just, if you pop in there every once in a while and just kind of scroll around, maybe make a bid or two, I tend to usually see an uptick in invitations and activity on my profile. Kara says, don't use those sites. Not there quite yet, but maybe one day. What is holding you back, Kara? Get out there with your loincloth and potato peeler and get to it. The sooner you start, the sooner you will start to, snowball and build and grow and build a book of clients, of repeat clients. And you know what I mean? So don't put off that journey. Get in there and get started. Makes sense? Janelle. Hi, Angela and everyone. I haven't tried a pay-to-play site yet, but sounds interesting. Oh, yes. Get in there, Janelle. Don't deprive the world of your voice. Richie. Okay, am I saying it wrong? It's not Richie, it's Richie. Thank you for correcting me. I always feel horrible about butchering people's names. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. It wasn't intentional. Caesar says, am I procrastinating kind of? It sounds like you might be. It sounds like you might be holding yourself back for whatever reason that you're telling yourself that you're not ready. I'm very familiar with that. So, but that's what it sounds like. Again, I don't know your situation. There's a lot of variables that are involved in everybody's different schedules and journeys and experiences and, what, but that's what it kind of sounds like. I feel like I'm ready, but also balancing and the tail end of a web development project, but also uncertain, but also sure I can make it. Blech. I totally understand that. And the best way to push all of that garbage out of your head is to just do it. Just put a horse with blinders on. Just put some blinders on. Don't focus so much about all of these other things going on over here. Just focus on doing, right? Ready, fire, aim. Ready, fire, and then aim to where you want to go, right? Because you could get stuck on aim for far too long. So you have to get past that. Oh, am I not good enough? Oh my gosh, what if I am good enough? What if just get rid of all that baloney and just go. Just do it. Just go. Got another super chat. Oh my goodness, you guys are amazing. Thank you, Gregory. You're so sweet. I agree with Eric. Your tangents help me to assess everything, check myself, and I'm submitting auditions as a result. That's great. That's great, Gregory. I am learning Audacity, editing a second audition now. Good for you. Good for you. Tangents by Angela Rule. Oh no, I have another t-shirt idea forming. Tangents. like in a Coca-Cola kind of script. Tangents. Oh my God. Thank you for the super chat, Gregory. I appreciate you. Oh my gosh. Now I don't know where I left off. Oh, here we are. Okay. Kara says, yes, Maleficent is the best. Yes. Kara, you and I are pretty much, right on that same level there. Yes. Maleficent I've always adored Maleficent. Kelsey says, just started direct marketing today. Good for you. Got any tips? I'm starting by looking up e-learning companies that are looking for developers in my area. That's perfect. Start close by and then branch out, right? Do it in community and then region and then state and then country. Why not? Google and LinkedIn are probably your best bets for narrowing down the correct person to reach out to. And then again, don't just start right away with sending them a demo and go, hey, take a listen to this and call me. Because if it were me, I would just delete it and move on. I don't know who you are. I don't know why you're sending me just, random stuff. Reach out, make a connection. Hey, make comments on their posts. You know what I mean? Hey, I saw that you're into softball or, that your kids are in Little League or in something. So is my kid and I love it. How do you like this or that? Or, you know what I mean? Make conversation, build a relationship first. And then, right? Because you have to kind of earn that, right? The personal touch. Don't ever forget the personal touch. We're humans. We want to be treated like humans or like we matter, like we're respected, right? Just like you would want to be. Good morning. Oh, I'm sorry. Your favorite today and every day. Good morning from Toledo, Ohio. I have completed book 3 on ACX, and 2 of the 3 rights holders have asked me to do follow-up projects. Good. It has truly been a fun couple of months starting up. That's awesome. That's awesome. Congratulations. And that's usually how it works, too. If a rights holder has several books, has lots of different books, and they like you, and their fan base likes you, there's a really good chance they're going to come back to you for a couple more, if not the remainder of whatever they've got, right? Kelsey says, also, thank you so much for your words of encouragement last week. I bought a rad new interface. I love that. We should bring rad back. And my audio sounds amazing now. That's wonderful. That's great. It's so good when things work out, right? Joya says, why do I feel like the cheater in the group? I don't use P2P because I have an endless supply of VO work because I am the author writing my own books. Am I cheating? Should I do more outside work? That is really your call, Joya. You're not cheating. You're not cheating. You're writing your own content. I mean, if I had this skill, I would do the same. I would say when you're out of content, perhaps, or if even if you're interested in going outside of your own content box and looking for work above and beyond your own, then yes. But if you're comfortable in your place, then no. You don't have to. You have the luxury of having the mind to write your own content. Not everybody can. Again, if I did, I would. So no. Do what you want to do. Kelsey says, the price is way too high on them. I think after I begin to make more in VO, I'll join one or two. But for now, it's the free play and direct marketing. There you go. Again, there's not one specific way to do this, right? To build your business. There's a lot of different ways to do it. And most everybody's got a different way or different ideas. I say embrace them. Go the way you want to go, the way that's most comfortable for you at the pace that's most comfortable for you, right? This is not a race. If it was, it would be a marathon, right? Definitely not a sprint. So do it the way that you're most comfortable with. Why not? Kelsey to Joya says, that's not cheating. That's just plain good strategy. Word. Caesar says, I've been ending my work days late and spending a lot of nights staring at the ceiling. And by the time I'm ready to work at the studio, I'm blinking myopically at my monitor, too tired to get started. Well, then I would say spend some of the ceiling staring time in the studio and just do something, right? Those first couple of projects or even demos, whatever it is, just spend that time in the studio making something, creating something, because all of those little things that you do are going to help to build the confidence within you to keep moving forward. And moving forward is what you want to do. No matter how small the step is, it's still forward. And that's what you want to keep the momentum forward. Not everything you do needs to be a big leap. Just getting into your studio and learning your DAW, doing some test recordings, learning what your effects do, right? Finding a practice script somewhere online. There's tons of them. And just practice. Just practice, because that'll help you to build the confidence, right? Go through the motions. Even if you're not quite sure you want to submit an audition yet, you don't have to, but practice with one, right? Go through the whole process of finding an audition, reading it, interpreting it, giving it your best take, record it, edit it, right? And then go, yeah, I can do this. All of those little things will help build your confidence to keep moving forward. So less ceiling staring time. Joya says to Kelsey, thank you. It helps. Natural X Jasmine says, yes, I did get a 30 plus days. Good. Thank you for the advice. Perfect. Gregory Kellis says, been following for a while and love what you have to say. I still work full time and I'm getting more offers than I have time to do. When is the right time to switch to VO full time? Gregory, what it was for me is exactly what it sounds like you are, the place that you're in. It was about somewhere between 1.5 to 2 years of doing this. I got to a place where I was like, I'm losing my business, my voiceover business was losing too much money by being employed by somebody else. My business was losing money, more money than I was making being employed by someone else. That was when I said, okay, it's time to retire from the corporate life and focus that time on building my business, because I'm losing clients that I have struggled to build a relationship with that have come back to me. I'm losing potential new clients because I'm just too busy here at this corporate job. So, I mean, everybody needs to make that decision for themselves, obviously, but that's what it was for me. When my business was losing more money than I was making, being employed is when I decided to retire. Eric, excellent health news, my friend. Yes. Yes, good day. It's always that one day a year that I'm just a nervous wreck. Hopeful, yes, but you never know with cancer stuff, but great news. Fabulous news. So happy. Jessa says, congrats on the remission. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. MG Steven says, what a wonderful blessing on your health. Yes, I'm very excited and happy, relieved. Pamela McDonald says, hey, Eric and Sean, I am at your point with P2P. I find that pay-to-play sites are sort of like you either love them or you hate them. Or I guess you could have a kind of a meh relationship with them too, but I think that would swing more to the hate them side, right? You either love them and you're all about them and you work with them all the time, or you're just like, well, I got other things that are better going on over here, right? That's kind of usually what I hear. Michael V says, so based on your numbers, voiceover is making you healthier than ever. Yes, I think the stress of not dealing with corporate stuff has definitely had a large part in that, I think. And doing what I want to do, like spending more time with the kiddo, being more present in his life than I would have been had I stayed employed. Yes, I agree with you. It's a great way of looking at it. Lisa Morgan says, yes, let's talk about it in the group, please. Okay, done. What are we doing this week? We're doing Give Me a Voice this week in our group, where we're going to look at different cartoon characters and give them a voice based on what they look like, their attributes. I think after, because there only can be so many pictures of those, right? So I think towards the end of that group session, after we're done with the character voices, we'll touch on some P2Ps, some pay-to-play sites. Caesar says, I'm so glad you're in excellent health. Back in 2021, I was afraid COVID was going to kill my VO potential, but miraculously, my lungs remained very strong post-recovery. That's awesome. That's awesome. And I think, and I have to say that I had thyroid cancer. So they had to take the whole thing out because it had cancer in it. But after that, my voice had dropped quite a bit. It was, well, maybe in my own head, but it seemed deeper to me, right? So even our own life experiences and things that happen to us during our lifetime, and things that uniquely make us us can still uniquely make you you. Does that make sense? So even if it had changed you a little bit, I mean, you can still work with that, right? It still makes you uniquely you. I mean, I'm glad to hear that everything is, copacetic, but I'm just saying, even if it hadn't, you could still work with that, right? You might have to pace yourself a little bit more, with a lack of lung capacity, but I would not let that stop you from moving forward and just working with what you have, right? It might take you a little longer. You might have to take more breaks, but you could still make that dream work, I think. I would not let that stop me. Indeed. Kirk, how are you, darling? I haven't seen you in a while. Yay. Happy health news indeed. Stalking here whilst searching for today's reading. Just wanted to see your smiling face. I would love to see your smiling face. Kirk. Good to hear from you, buddy. Hope all is well. Jessica Kent says, regarding just getting started in writing, we say, don't self-reject. There are enough people who will reject you. You don't need to be one of them. That's how I started sending out auditions. I love that. I love that. Yes, don't hold yourself back or reject yourself. We are our own worst critics, right? Just keep moving forward, regardless of what you think about yourself. Because again, in the beginning, I didn't think anybody would want to listen to my voice either. But I'm I'm doing okay, right? With the voice that I have. So don't let your own opinions or biases about yourself hold you back from just moving forward. Just do it, right? You might be pleasantly surprised. Don't reject yourself. Caesar says, my doctor says I may have lost a lung, but it just came home one night. That's awesome. That's awesome. It sounds like you had a miracle. Miracle lung. That's fabulous. Leslie, hi there. Happy sunny Tuesday. As you wish. As you wish. Stu Blank. Taco Tequila Tuesday. Oh, I forgot about that. It's Triple T Tuesday. So would it be quadruple T? So it would be Taco Tequila Tangent Tuesday. Oh my gosh. Mamanda Panda says, oh, tequila at 6 a.m. Yes. Oh, no. Me and tequila don't get along very well anymore. We're not the best of friends. But every once in a while, you got to do what you got to do, right? Tacos and tequila. Joey West. Good morning, Angela from Michigan. I'm so glad you got good news from your doctors. I wanted to start out as a narrator on ACX, and I wanted to know what is the best way to start by just doing it. Just go do it. That is the best way to start. Just start. Just shut up all the voices in your head and just go do it. All the doubts, all the fears, all of that. You're not good enough, all that self-rejection stuff. What do you guys know? I'm going to do this because I want to do this. And this is how we move forward. I just do. Just do. Just go. Joy. Amanda Panda says, I can't find you on LinkedIn, Angela. Are you on there? Yes, I am. Oh my gosh. I'm going to have to go and see what's going on LinkedIn, but yes, I am. I might be on there with I have a business page, VoiceOverAngela Productions. Maybe that's how you find me. I hope I didn't disappear. That would be awkward. Amanda Panda says, that is why I went with Reaper. Yeah, because the one fee thing. Yeah. Rich, how you doing, buddy? Reaper is a one-time fee based on type of usage and income made. That's the stipulation. So is a one-time fee based on, so if you exceed your previous income range, do you have to pay more? I think that's what I was thinking. You may have to pay another time if you exceed your usage and your income range, right? I think that's what I heard. Kelsey says, the whispery perfume commercials, Tangents, a new fragrance by Angela. You guys are so funny. Sunny, good morning, Sunny. Good morning, Angela. I just finished my first substantial PFA. What's wrong with my voice today? My voice, my face. I just finished my first substantial PFH book. Yay. Good job, Sunny. Just wondering how accurate the time estimate is for you. It came out to 8,200 words an hour for this one. Everybody's going to do it a little bit different. And I think it's also going to depend on the type of book. Because if there's, let's just say if it's nonfiction, it'll stay pretty consistent in pace and tone. But if you have something that's got like a dramatic scene, you're going to speak a little bit faster, a little bit more urgent. Get out of here, Nat. So it's really going to depend from person to person and from book to book. But usually it's around 9,300 words. If you want to make it really easy math, you make it 10,000 words per finished hour. But you are going to, there's a lot of variables to consider. So it might be different for, person to person, book to book. But congratulations, Sunny. Joe Voice, yay to tangents. Don't encourage the tangent. Joey West says, if Casting Call Club counts as a P2P, I went for it a month ago as an apprentice with no regrets. Well, there you go. It is. Any of those casting call sites, casting sites, freelance marketplaces are all kind of, pay to play. Sunny, just catching up on the stream, Angela. Glad to hear your good news. Thank you. Thank you. Caesar says, I think I can actually write my own demos. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. I feel like I have a touch of Douglas Adams in my writing style, and this may help draw attention to my capabilities. Yes, and if you have the aptitude to write, if you have the creative mind to write, if you have the chops to write, you could also offer that as a skill set for hire as well, because they pretty much go hand in hand with voiceover, copywriting, or writing in general. You could be a ghostwriter for somebody. I mean, every skill that you have that you could make available online for somebody else could be another, stream of income. Use it, embrace it, do it. Oh, show. Leslie says, so happy you're healthy. Great news. Yes, it's great news Tuesday. Thank you, Leslie. Barbara says, how do you know if you are editing too much? I'm spending a great deal of time editing and I'm afraid I'm being too picky. So very glad you are happy and healthy. Yes, thank you for that, Barbara. If you're spending too much time, and again, everybody's definition of too much is going to be different, but if you feel that you're spending too much time on editing, you probably are over editing. Editing should not be nitpicking every, microsecond. You just take out your mistakes, anything big that catches your eye, like a cough or throat gurgle, all the random things that we find in our audio, just take that stuff out, but leave the rest. Don't get too nitpicky because you can over edit and then it'll just sound like hot garbage when you're done. It's really easy to do that. So don't focus on every little thing. Just take out the big glaring stuff because most people listening aren't going to hear the things that you hear because we are, our own worst critic. In our head is going, oh, well, that's not acceptable. I got to take that out. Well, you know what? A lot of times it's not going to matter. No one's going to hear it but you. If that makes sense. Masonry Construction says, Taco Tequila Tuesday today. Totally. That's way too many T's. Maybe not. Michael V says, I'm not allowed to drink tequila. No one likes me then. I don't like me when I drink tequila, so I can relate. Michael V says, Reaper, $60 for up to $20,000 in income, $200 for above, still a one-time charge. Okay, so if you sign up at the $20,000 of income and then you exceed that, can you pay the difference for the above? I assume you can, right? Because eventually you will exceed that if you keep at it. Jessa says, Caesar, don't forget you can offer copy editing as an add-on. Yes, absolutely. Add-on or a completely different offering in and of itself. And then you could add on another add-on to that offer in and of itself. Hey, by the way, I'm also a voice actor, so anything I write for you, I can also narrate for an extra fee, right? Make it work for you. Make it work for you. All those skills that you have, use them. My God. Mary. Hi, Mary. Mary HP says, morning, Angela and everyone. Under the weather today. So glad you're doing well. I'm sorry to hear that, Mary. I hope you get better soon. Wishing you a speedy recovery, whatever it is. Hope it's short-lived. We'll be crossing our fingers for you. Sunny says, do you have any facial tongue exercises regularly, along with relaxation exercises? I find that I have so much lower jaw tension and need to do daily work on it. Same. I actually have TMJ, so I have constantly jaw and face pain all the time, every day. And it's just one of those things that I just have to smile and grin through because, it is what it is. But facial and tongue exercises, yes, I would say do the silliest thing because I'm not taking the bait. I'm not going to do it here on camera, but stretch your mouth open as wide as possible. Move the jaw around, move your tongue around. Do all of the crazy things with your face that you feel like are stretching the muscles that are in question, right? And if you're having a lot of lower jaw tension, because I do the same, I kind of grit my teeth and all of my tension is in my shoulders and my neck and my face. Try to relax. Try some meditation. It really helps. Just give yourself, even if you're not listening to a actual meditation, listen to some of that soft, relaxing music and just, lay on the floor, put headphones on and close your eyes and let the music just take you somewhere else so you can just not focus on whatever it is that's causing you the tension in the first place. Right? Because that is self-care and that is also important. Don't poo-poo that. That is very important for you. Take a hot bath and just relax. Go take a nap. I mean, whatever you have to do to kind of relieve yourself of that tension, because you shouldn't be dealing with that all day long. It just stinks, right? And it comes through in your recordings if you're a voice actor, just being uncomfortable and clenching your jaw. It just makes it sound so different than it would if you were relaxed, right? Caesar says at Jessicant, shoot, you're right. I shall write that down. Among other things I can do, actually, is edit. I have the whole Adobe suite and very proficient in Premiere and After Effects. I offer those too. You could edit video. You could edit podcasts. You could edit dialogue. Anything that you know how to do, somebody somewhere needs that skill. They need to hire you. They need that. So if you're proficient at it and you have the skills and the tools to do it, then by golly, do it. Absolutely. And when you're editing video, you can also offer voiceover services. Joya says, if you're afraid to start recording, go in the booth and record some fun voices and quotes. Once you record something and listen to it, you will build confidence and have a little demo in the process. Absolutely. Perfectly stated, Joya. Just go do it already. Michael V says, sorry, 225. Okay, so for a Reaper, so for the full license with no cap, so to speak, it's 225. Tess Stalker says, good afternoon from, I almost said Dracula. Decula, am I saying that right? Decula, Georgia? I'm outside of ATL. Glad I made it. I get so much from and always feel more enthusiastic after this get-together. Thanks, Angela. Decula. Oh, thank you for that. I'm just going to stick with Dracula. Dracula, Georgia. I like it. Sounds pleasant. Because I'm the weird horror vampire person. Not that I am. I just forget it. Caesar. On the subject of over-editing, I feel like it's important to leave in certain nonverbal emotional cues like sighs, grunts of frustration, and so on. Yes. And also depending on what it is, right? So commercial work, unless they want that in there, unless, I think I'm getting ahead of myself. It also depends on what the client's capabilities are or what they want. Because if the client has their own audio engineer that's going to take your voiceover and then manipulate it further, and then have the ability for them to take out the nonverbal sighs and grunts and things, then yes, leave them in if they help you to get to that tone or to that feeling or whatever it is that you're recording. But if the client is expecting a finished, polished product that they're just going to take from you and then put it on social media or put it on the internet or whatever they're doing with it, and they don't want those in there, then they can't take them out. So they're going to depend on you to take them out. But I guess they could always just say, hey, could you resend this without all the grunts and stuff in it? So I guess it's not that big of a deal. But ultimately, if those things help you to get to the right place, then yes, do them. Output that's too clean may sound emotionless. Yes. Perfectly stated. Pamela says, regarding noise edits, I don't suppose there is a plugin for nose soft palate clicks, sigh. No, there isn't a plugin for nose farts or soft palate clicks or throat gurgles or any of those things, unfortunately. Just mouth clicks. Maybe we should write to Isotope and have them get on that, because that would be fabulous. I think they're still working on my anti-tangent plugin. Joya says, continued, just please edit your demos. Please, please, please edit your demos. We, the authors, do listen to them. There you go. Edit, but don't over-edit. Fine line, I suppose. Right Track says, "Hey, Angela. Hope all is well with you and everyone in the chat. Much success to all." Yes, I love that positive attitude. What time is it? Okay, we got to roll through the rest of these really quick. Caesar says, "Lower jaw tension can be cured by a good quarter pounder or triple patty cheeseburger and a shot of tequila." Right? Caesar says, "In my case, I have this thing where I push the tip of my tongue against the back of my upper front teeth, resulting in piercing sibilants." Yes. Uh, Tess says, "Proudly from Dracula." Hey, if I lived there, that's what I would say too. That's awesome. Sunny says, "Reaper is amazing for music production, but I don't think it was designed for VO at all. I know it can certainly be used for VO, and someone in our group uses it, but it's not intuitive for most." I have to echo the same, Sunny. I don't know if any DAW was really designed for voiceover in the beginning. I think Adobe Audition, from what I have seen, and again, I'm not the be all end all of everything that I say, of course, but from what I have seen, Adobe Audition is the most VO friendly, in my opinion, just from, again, what I have seen. So I would have to say, yes, I agree with you. Kelsey says, "I had a hot start in the industry and then suddenly crickets. Hopefully I get hired soon, or it's survival job time for me." I would say wherever it is that you started that was hot, go back to that and just get active again, or branch out into other sites, right? Because it's not always going to be consistent. This is just like any other sales job, kind of. It's not going to be self-employed, really. If you're self-employed, any business that you have, you can't depend on there being consistent income. There's going to be ebb and flow every month, every week. There just is. So you have to keep constantly making connections and finding new companies to work with, building relationships, making yourself available on all of the sites that you can, because that not only establishes you as a professional if someone were to Google you, because if they Google you to see if you're a real person, because we all do it, then they'll see all these other websites that you're popping up on, which makes you look like an actual voice actor, right? Instead of just, someone maybe dipping their toe in, that kind of thing. So I think the more places that you're on is definitely going to be more advantageous for you than more of a hindrance. Does that make sense? Oh my gosh. Where did that one come from? I was just like, blah, blah. Good Lord. On a roll today. Sunny says to Caesar, "Yes, I just learned about the tongue tip placement causing excess sibilance. I'm definitely working on that. We can actually change our speaking mechanics with practice." Yes, you can. I have learned to pull my tongue back from my teeth or keep my mouth a little wider when I speak to help reduce sibilance, because I'm also very sibilant. But yes, kind of reteaching yourself to speak. If you have really sibilance would be the only real thing, or if you're like mumble mush mouth, speaking wider and pulling your tongue back from your teeth has definitely helped with sibilance and enunciation. Kelsey says, "You wouldn't be Angela without the tangents." That's like popcorn without the butter. Okay. It's a new fragrance by Angela. Tangents. Oh no, Leslie, where'd you go? Oh, there you go. Isotope does have mouth denoise, and in mouth declick has a list that includes mouth smack. Mouth smack? What? I haven't seen that. I haven't dug too deep into there. I know there's a mouth declick, which I absolutely love, but I'll have to go and look for smack. Thank you for that, Leslie. Sunny says, Caesar says, "To Sunny, working on that too. Watched a video about speaking with my mouth more open and, oddly enough, sticking my tongue out more. It helps with the sibilance," they said. You're hilarious, Caesar. Gregory says, "What do you say to uploading submitted auditions that didn't get chosen and got no feedback from the potential client? Submitted to your ACX or Fiverr or Upwork profiles, I mean." This question came up yesterday with somebody that I was working with, and I say I did it. I did it because it's a work that I've already done. It's not that you're trying to do anything with this sample other than highlight or showcase your voice narration, right? You're not trying to sell it. You're not trying to claim that you wrote it. You're not trying to do anything other than here, this is what I sound like. And I think ultimately, if anybody were to hear it, have a problem with it, I mean, and they come to you with that problem, what are you going to say? Yeah, oh, sure, I'll take that down. No problem. Right. But I will say that I did it. And then as you start to get more work, like paid work, and you have the permission of those clients to use those samples, then you can replace those with the new samples. Make sense? Sunny says to Caesar, haha. Joy says, thank you for your great tips. I don't know what we're doing this Thursday for the Platinum group, but I know it's going to be so cool. We're going to be doing a new thing called What's My Voice, and I'm going to be putting up pictures of animated characters, just random stuff, but based on what the character looks like, the attributes of that character, we're going to develop a character voice for it. It's just going to be a fun little practice in character voice development. Think like video games or for children's books, fantasy books, right? That's what we're going to be doing. So I think it'll be a lot of fun. Kara, you'll be the last comment of the day. Every mention of the word tangent, need to take a shot of tequila. Oh, you are bad. You're bad. But I like the way you think. Anywho. All right, for those of you in my Platinum group, I will see you all in just a couple days on Thursday. And for the rest of you, I will see you all on next Tuesday. Same bat time, same bat channel. Thank you again for spending some time with me today, and love and appreciate you all. I'll see you all next week. Bye.